organization.
Let me be frank with you, I'm not happy, I'm disappointed.
For the person responsible, the perpetrator, be brought to justice.
Very good. The judge did well. And we are waiting for the final ruling now from the Supreme Court. That's what we are waiting for.
It is still at the lower court. So what sentence do you expect? Life imprisonment, under 5 years? Which one do you wish
Life
for?
imprisonment. Life imprisonment. In the past, we used to have when you kill, you should be killed. But that has been cancelled. So I expect that life imprisonment.
Why life imprisonment?
Because he killed a human being. Why he couldn't be killed? I mean, why he can't be punished for it? He had to be punished for it.
So you satisfied?
I'm satisfied today.
And so that seems that...
I'm Emmanuel Petitcourt.
And so, Mr. Petitcourt, that seems that for the past 2 years, the case have been lingering, and so family are going to be concerned today concerning this final judgment.
I'm very happy today. I'm happy because if he killed my grandson, and I'm representing the family here, I'm happy. I'm happy.
It has relieved me because she did not just come up to rule. She read the entire evidences provided and the argument, and that she has adjourned him guilty, even though the sentence will be pre-sentence process, and the defendant lawyers also took an appeal. But I think the judgment was in the right direction, because it's difficult to even turn the case around. So we think justice is being given, even though they took it to the Supreme Court, but no justice will prevail.
And that has been a long Caesar battle, like probably for 2 years now. And so do you see that as a victory for the president of Liberia?
Yeah, it's a victory because on the 15th of April last year, when the incident occurred, I was the first who went on the scene, and we collaborated with the state authority, particularly the police. They launched an investigation, and our concern was for the person responsible, the perpetrator, be brought to justice.
The Liberian government is working with partners to support farming activities aimed at enhancing food security in the country. This was evident by the launch on Tuesday of a cassava harvest in Gangaman Town in Clay District, Bomi County. Speaking at the launch, Deputy Agriculture Minister Dr. George Popo reassured local farmers in Liberia of government's continuous engagement to increase their production.
We also want to encourage the people of Gagama to not only restrict this kind of cooperation to the planting of cassava alone. While we appreciate this, we know that this very initiative, this approach that you use, can be used into other sectors that will even give you more money than what the cassava will give us. So you should start looking into a town having maybe a cocoa farm, or having a palm farm, or a coffee farm, I mean cash crop. And the good thing, we have a new hybrid of cocoa. We have a new kind of cocoa. That's what we mean. That if you plant it today, in 18 months, you can start to harvest it. And if you start to harvest it, unlike our other cocoa that used to bear only up there, it start to bear its bulb from the roots all the way to the pinnacle of the tree. So it means that it's going to produce more cocoa bulb. And because it's a hybrid within.
Also speaking at the program, the project coordinator of Rare Plus, Sadeve, expressed delight over the launch and recommitted his organization to additional sponsorship of the program.
2014, in September to be specific, the government of Liberia and the government of Norway in New York, on the margins of the United Nations Secretary General Conference on Climate Change, signed what we refer to today as a letter of intent. In most times you will see LOI, we refer to the letter of intent. And that letter of intent that was signed between the government of Liberia and the government of Norway was for, and is still for, the government of Norway to provide the government of Liberia funding so that the government of Liberia will help reduce deforestation. That is, cutting down the forest, will reduce it a little bit, make use of some of these places that in the past the thought was that, oh, once there's no more forest, you can't carry on agricultural activities there, which of course What we are looking at here is a clear indication that is not true. So the question is, how can we as a people or a nation reduce deforestation, forest degradation, when our people's livelihood depends on, especially those who live on the fringes of the forest, depend on the forest for their livelihood, right? Mostly in terms of agricultural activities, charcoal making, and the rest of that. So as part of the agreement or letter of intent we signed with Norway, that's how the World Bank came in as the trustee when we developed this project that I refer to now as the Liberia Forest Sector Project. There was a need to have a trustee through which the Norwegian government will pass the resources, give it to the government of Liberia, and then we report back to that entity, and the entity reports back to the government of Norway.
Meanwhile, William Kennedy, the supervisor of the project, talked about the use and benefit of cassava crops.
Cassava has value, but we didn't know it from the beginning. As we speak today, down to cassava leaf, cassava peeling is useful. And we use them, we use cassava leaf, we dry it, palm it, as you can see. This is the cassava leaf. And it is in demand in our country and all of the country. We sometimes ship them, all of the country. Then we have a product we call, in the other place they say super gari, but we name our own different. We call it walking, eating. This is the bigger one. This is the smaller one. That sometimes you get back and just put it and eat.
Since the head of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, was diagnosed with the COVID-19 disease, rumors have been spreading that the EPA boss and the Moria City Corporation City Mayor Jefferson Koji arrived on the same flight from Switzerland and that both men were in close contact. Pictures have also been circulating on social media showing the two men on the street in a foreign land, with some calling for the Moria City Mayor to be tested for the virus. But in an exclusive interview with LNTV Tuesday, Mayor Koji talked about his interaction with the EPA boss when they both met in Spain in February.
On the social media, that yes, indeed, that it was necessary to lose my life. Maliciously believe that I was on the plane when I turned about.
Now, when you talk about that,
just I was on the plane when I turned about. That is a falsification. And I just want to talk about it's a falsification. As Ben said, February 16, I left Blama, myself was in what you call Paris, and we went to what you call Spain. No, Spain. Okay. I've never been to Switzerland. Okay. And I haven't been to Switzerland.
So the last time you met Blama was in Spain?
Yeah, the last time we flew from Spain, that was in February, the 16th of February. Okay. So I haven't met him, and I've been here, I've been here now over a month.
So why people are linking you with him? Because I personally saw footage of you and him
because we took a photo pretty good a month ago now. Okay. So because like I said to you, you have political desperado who want to use any situation. You can remember when in this country, unfortunately for me, in 2018 when I was in a fatal tire accident, June 16, 2018. Can you imagine? I've never drank a wine before I say I've drank a liquor. But people insinuated that yes, indeed, I was drunk and I was driving. I've never driven a car before. I've never driven a car before. But in a fatal accident, when I nearly lost my life, the car got totally damaged. But people were circulating on the social media that yes, indeed, that it was necessary to lose my life.
Indeed, if you just joined us, a reminder you're watching LNTV News Live. 30 minutes of news from Liberia and elsewhere. My name is Maxwell Johnson. In our top story this morning, at long last, defendant Jonathan Williams found guilty of murdering journalist Taron Brown. Ministry of Agriculture launches cassava harvest in Gangama Town in Bomi County. Moria City Mayor Jefferson Koji dismisses rumors that he was on the same flight with suspended EPO boss Nathaniel Blama last Friday. And away from home, doctors in Nigeria's capital Abuja have gone on an indefinite strike over delay of paid and unsafe working conditions. We're taking a short break and we'll come back to bring you more stories. The Ministry of Transport has instituted new measures aimed at curtailing the rapid spread of the coronavirus in Liberia. Already, Liberia has recorded 2 cases of coronavirus, prompting ban on travels and large gatherings. But as Edward Tama reports, many vehicle operators are not aware of the measures.
The measures require that all pimping drivers wear protective masks and accommodate a single passenger at a time. LNTV called up with 2 motorcyclists and asked them if they are aware of the new measures.
Me, the reason I've not been wearing the mask is that rumor I've been hearing, and now I see the patient with my eyes to know, to really be sure. Yeah.
For now, I got nothing to do now from this year in Papa evaluation. Yes, sir. All the things they talk about first, at this song.
No, what?
They say some students go out water, they have water, you go lamb there, you drink it.
The measure also captured commercial and private vehicles to carry 3 persons at the back seats and 1 person at the front. But the commercial drivers around town believe the new measures will affect the transportation fares.
That 4 persons at the back.
Okay, so are you aware of the new regulation from the Transport Ministry?
Oh no, since then I've been monitoring my receiver, I don't hear anything like that yet.
Okay, the new regulation is 3 persons at the back, 1 person at the front.
Okay, thank you very much.
So are you ready to implement that?
Yeah, if the government, if the passenger willing to correspond with us because of the gas situation, because we have to charge them according to the seat. Okay. So maybe we can do that.
So you think if you drop the number of passengers, you have to increase the fare?
Yeah, that would be the solution, because normally you take 5 persons, the driver make it 6. So now we drive 1 person, so you have to do that deduction.
Normally, for now, we're driving 4 persons, 3 at the back.
3 at the back, like what you carrying right now?
Yeah.
3 at the back, 1 at the front.
1 at the front.
Okay, so that was the regulation put in place by government, right?
Yeah, that's why we heard. Myself, I've heard it on the radio, and the morning I even told my friends, I say I play radio whole day. I heard 3 at the back. So what we do here, I will take 3. But now the only thing I told them is that right now gas price is 635. Even to find a gas, now I'm packing here, help here. No gas, I have to go to the station. I have to pack in the land. So we told them we say 120 from here to Banavik, 120, and they said no problem. And since the morning.
So that's a new fare for here to Banavik.
Yeah, because we add on it.
The measure also required tricyclists or kekes to carry 2 persons at the back. But it seems this is difficult for keke drivers. It also requires buses to avoid overcrowding aimed at preventing the spread of coronavirus. Transport Ministry, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police, called for strict adherence to the new measures put in place. Edward Tama reporting.
Meanwhile, commercial taxi drivers have been urged to institute the hand washing protocol and encourage their passengers to ensure they follow the measures in the traffic. According to an airport taxi driver, Samson Loki, all drivers must carry sanitizers or chlorine water in their cars to allow passengers abide by the preventive measures before entering their vehicles.
Yeah, I'm an airport taxi driver. So in the morning when I'm on my way to the airport, I can pick up some passengers from Ghana's Way to Boulevard Junction. And I decide that since the virus is spreading all over, I decided to put a bottle of chlorine water in my car. So any passenger coming in.
You say what you got?
Chlorine.
Okay.
Put it in the water in the bottle, so any passenger coming in my car, I can put it in the sink to wash his hand before touching my car. handle. So this is what I do.
So why you choose to do that?
Because of the safety.
Okay.
The safety of everybody. Because you don't know who is who.
Liberia Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Kete says SN Brussels Airline has provided the flight manifest detailing all those who were on board that flight. The SN Brussels flight that arrived Friday evening, March 13, brought a passenger that turned out to be the country's first coronavirus case. Dr. Kete has detailed how they are working to trace those who were on the flight.
Last night, we got an information on 127 contacts that were on the flight. So about 127 and 23 basically are being categorized at high risk and 104 categorized at low risk. So within Moserado County, we have been following about 30 contacts. And so 17 in Commonwealth District and 5 in Central Monrovia. 4 within the Somalia Drive area and 1 in Carisburg District. 3 came on the flight, and we are trying to monitor all of those. So those are moving target, and as long as we have information, we'll go ahead and release some of those information. So what I'm saying is not written in stone. So it's a moving target and so forth.
It can
Increase or decrease.
Meanwhile, Dr. Kid is warning people not to stigmatize victims as it could hinder voluntary compliance.
I think this is now time that we as Liberians have to be our brothers and sisters keeper. You know, the thing about disease is that it does not have limit, it does not have boundary. And so the thing here is that you have to begin to have empathy on someone who is ill. And based on that, because tomorrow it could be you. So we need to stop this, process of, stigmatizing people because of certain things and so forth. So I think it is important that if the ambulance were to come to a neighbor's place and so forth, the role you need to play is that to inform the health workers of some of the contacts and so forth. If you were in contact with this person and so forth, let us know so that we can put in the different system so that you can be protected, and early diagnosis is very, very critical in what we do.
Moreover, City Corporation is reinforcing the mandate of President George Weah on the prevention of further spread of the coronavirus in Liberia. Speaking at a meeting with community leaders and other stakeholders, City Mayor Jefferson Koji announced a number of measures in support of efforts against the outbreak of coronavirus disease.
The reason we're taking these stringent measures is to ensure that we minimize the vulnerability of our people. We minimize the vulnerability of our people. What we will do, we will ask all of the businesses, most especially the entertainment businesses within the bailiwick of Monrovia, clubs.
Speaking earlier, Culture Ambassador Julie Andy said, with the support of the community and commissioners in Moserado County, the virus will be contained.
And as we look at these times in our lives, these difficult times in our lives in Liberia, we have a mayor who is very young, but have taken the responsibility to do the right thing as far as health is concerned. Once you have your community locked down, with your commissioners and your community leaders, your volunteers in different blocks and communities, we will fight this together. And we will succeed. The mayor has promised Dr. Fala, a member of the IMS, that he will work directly with the RISCOM of the IMS to work together in this community engagement initiative. He spoke last week.
In an effort to curtail the spread of the coronavirus in the premises of the capital and beyond, the Liberian Senate is expected to institute several preventive measures. Delivering a special statement on behalf of the Liberian Senate in plenary Tuesday, Senator Pro Tempore Abochie urged all Liberians to take responsibility and follow all health protocols being instituted by health authorities in the country.
The government of Liberia has announced 2 confirmed positive cases of the coronavirus disease in our country. The Ministry of Health, the National Public Health Institute, other concerned agencies and international partners are working overtime to trace the primary and secondary contacts of these 2 cases. Meanwhile, we urge all our citizens to remain calm and observe all of the health protocols put in place by this government to curtail the transmission of the disease. Most especially, number 1, avoid contacts as much as possible and keep social distances. 2.
And briefly up the home front now, doctors in Nigeria's capital Abuja have gone on an indefinite strike over delayed pay and unsafe working conditions. The announcement came just after Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, confirmed a third case of COVID-19. The president of the Abuja branch of the Doctors Association, Roland Agbovo, said it was a difficult decision, but members had not been paid their salary for 2 months despite repeated warnings and ultimatum, he said. The problem stemmed from the new payroll system introduced by the authorities in Nigeria. And well, on that foreign note, that's how we come to the end of this edition of LNTV News Live. Before we go to recap of stories that made headline this morning, at long last, defendant Jonathan Williams found guilty of murdering journalist Tyrone Brown. Ministry of Agriculture launches cassava harvest in Gangama Town in Bomi County. Moravia City Mayor Jefferson Koji dismisses rumors that he was on the same flight with suspended EPO boss Nathan Blama last Friday. And of the home front, doctors in Nigeria's capital Abuja have gone on an indefinite strike over delayed pay and unsafe working conditions. Thank you so much for viewing. Thanks to our editors and reporters for making this edition a success. Thanks also to Sekou Krumah and his team at Top FM in Zouadrou, Grandjida County for relaying our news and other programs. On behalf of the entire news team, I've been your presenter, Maxwell Johnson, bidding you a very good day from Pinsville.